Hey guys, here to do a review for the 2016 Jungle Book. I just went and saw it earlier today, and I gotta do a review for it because it's super good. First things first, I want to say sorry that this is going up so late. I had a lot of things going on today, but now let's getting into the movie. This movie is absolutely breathtaking and fantastic. Um, I've actually been quite a big fan of all these new Disney remakes and stuff, but I was always curious as to what they would do with the Jungle Book. I was even curious as to what they were going to do with Cinderella, and that was one that I really enjoyed as well. This movie, though, and uh, I was on board from the first trailer that they released to the public. Once we saw like a glimpse of what they were going for, I I've been on board. Um, and then you hear all the stories about it and how about like the majority of this movie is, or all of it basically, is on a soundstage. Like it's all CG, and the visuals are, there was no time ever in the movie where I didn't think that Mowgli was not actually in the wild, and that is, or in the jungle, and that is such a strange thing to say because they were never in a jungle atmosphere. I mean, I'm sure to make it more realistic, like there's some scenes where there's some props, and I'm sure the props were real, and those of you that have seen it will know what I mean, but I don't want to give too much away. Um, but, there are things in it that I'm sure were real, like, some of the things that Mowgli touches and handles and stuff, but the vast majority of this movie, I want to say probably 90 some percent of this movie is just not there, but it's there, and it's this weird vehicle, but it works, and it's so amazing. Before I talk any more about like like the behind the scenes kind of stuff on the movie, I gotta give credit to where it's due, to the voicing and the one actor that we have in this film, or well, I guess two if you want to count, two or three if you want to count like a flashback scene that's in the movie. But really, the one actor in this movie, Neil Satai, I think that's how you say his last name. Forgive me if it's not. But Mowgli, oh my gosh, does this kid rock? Um, and the idea that this is his first film is, it almost makes me want to go, I don't believe it. Like I I don't believe it, because he's good. He's in a place where most child actors or young actors are at, like after their first three or four films, and he's in that spot now. Like, and this is me saying he's not perfect. There were a few moments in the movie where I wish some of the dialogue that he was given would have been um, a little bit different. It wasn't that it didn't work. It wasn't anything like that at all. Just for my personal taste, because there was some of the things that he said that I don't know if uh, a child would say. But then again, it's Mowgli, and he's been raised in a jungle, so maybe he would say some of the things that he said. Um, but that is literally my only critique at all of this movie. Well, one more. Okay, maybe two. There's two. I have to echo the sentiment. So this will be the first other actor that I talk about is um, Scarlett Johansson voicing Ka. I don't really think you needed her to voice Ka. you don't really see more than what you see in the trailer, and they could have easily gotten somebody else for that role. Again, not that I didn't like hearing her voice, not anything like that. I just don't understand why it had to be her. But I liked it. This is not me bashing it. Just could have been somebody different, just putting it out there. Uh, I do not think that you could have gotten anyone better to play Baloo than Bill Murray. You know, I was really worried because the original cartoon, which I do want to do a review for at some point. I kind of want to do a Disney series, so that'll be upcoming at some point. Um, but I love Baloo in the original, and that voice actor that is in several of the different Disney classics. That's such a beloved character, and I was like, I don't know what Bill Murray was going to bring to this, because they kept him so secret from everybody, and I see why. It's because he nails this thing he kills it as Baloo. He's perfect. There's a scene in the movie, and I don't want to give away too much of what happens, but there's this scene in the movie where Mowgli is getting honey from him, and that's for him, and that's all I'm gonna say. This scene had me cracking up just the whole time, just giggling. So much fun. Ben Kingsley as Bagheera is spectacular. Could have gotten anyone better. Idris Elba as Shere Khan, just on the nose, incredible. But I think the thing that surprised me the most was Christopher Walken as King Louie. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a huge Christopher Walken fan, but from the scene, the little clip that was released from the Jungle Book not that long ago, I didn't really care for his voice coming out of this huge monkey. I didn't think it fit. After seeing the movie, I gotta change my opinion. It surprisingly works. And not only does it work, but it works so well. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give too much away. But I'll say this, and maybe this will hint at it. And once this movie comes out on Blu-ray or DVD, maybe I'll do like a really short video talking about it with some spoilers. Well, since it's just came out over the weekend, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But the emotions that I felt towards Walken's King Louie, I wasn't expecting. And that's all I can say without giving too much away. The King Louie part of the movie does mirror what happens in the classic cartoon. But they take it to a much bigger level. I was not expecting to feel that way. Now, something I can say, though, about Shere Khan is the last... because again, this happens in the cartoon too, and I haven't read the book in a long, long time since I was a kid, so I don't remember what happens in the book, but the last, fight between Shere Khan and Baloo, Bagheera, and Mowgli, it's your typical Jungle Book story. That scene with Shere Khan was frightening. Genuinely frightening. And I totally understand why some people say that there are scenes in this movie that will probably scare young kids. And so if you have young kids, I would say don't take them. Unless they're about, 8 or... I wouldn't take any kid younger than 8 to go see this movie. Because there are 2 scenes in this movie that are... I don't want to say scary. It's not like horror movie scary, but it's frightening. And the last thing that I want to say, the thing that I echoed or I said I wanted to talk about later is this. Talking animals. I believe it. I believed it in this movie. Animals talking. This is the first talking animal movie that did it well. Did it so well that 10 minutes into the movie, I forgot that I'm watching a movie with a bunch of talking animals, and I don't care because it's so good. And so I gotta give a tip of the hat to all of the visual artists on this movie, whether they worked on the scenery or the animals themselves and the way they talk or the way they move. Hands down, good job, everybody. This movie is a 10 out of 10 for me, and it's the easiest 10 out of 10 that I have to give. And I'm even gonna go as far as to say that if this movie is not at least nominated for an Oscar, you know that something wrong is happening, because this movie, I think, deserves the award, but it definitely deserves a nomination. This movie is groundbreaking and gorgeous. And I actually did not see it in 3D. The last note I'll give is I did not see it in 3D because I'm unfortunately one of those people that gets migraines from the 3D. And so I saw the regular version, and I can definitely tell you that if you are someone who can view 3D with just seeing the regular version, I gotta say, you gotta go see it. You gotta go see it in 3D. You know, you gotta tell me, you gotta come back and comment and tell me how good the 3D is, because man, I wish I didn't get headaches from 3D. The only time that I chance 3D is when I go see a movie in IMAX, and where the 3D and IMAX are kind of, together, and you don't get to choose just the IMAX. And I always walk out with at least a headache, most of the time a migraine. So, but yeah, Jungle Book's great. Let me know what you think. Like again, if you go see it in 3D, let me know what you thought of the 3D. Comment down below. You can subscribe, please, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I guess this is my Jungle Book review. Peace out.